get the little intro.
Welcome back to MMA Underground, your favorite part of Wednesday. And we're here having too much fun, and I'm only one half of the dynamic duo known as Buddy V with the one and only.
Sam K. And shit, as always, man, we got a phenomenal guest in the building. He's one of the most dangerous fighters known. He's one of the most feared fighters in street beefs. He's one of the most dominating light heavyweight champions we've seen. Venom Blacc in the building.
What's happening? What's happening? How y'all gentlemen doing? Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Yes,
What's up,
sir.
Streetbeefs? How y'all doing?
Having too
Good to
much
have
fun
you, man.
tonight. Woo!
Good to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, let's get straight to it, bro. The last fight that was correct me if I'm wrong, that was within Street Beefs. That was with the late great Showtime, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Really great fighter. My condolences to his family, you know. I'll never forget him, and that one took a lot out of me just to have that, opponent, and he never got a chance to get his rematch. But I hope all is well with his family. So yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And more so about the fight itself. What can you say about that? Because that was from the outside looking in, that was a gritty battle right there. We loved it.
Yeah, yeah. It was to me it was one of my top performances against a really formidable opponent. Really high credentials. He had like 100+ amateur fights already. Spar with world champions. Was a actual pro boxer level. Was very smart. But I fought a really good fight. I really they did the punch stat numbers on it, and I probably beat them every round in every category possible. I was really impressed. I'm mad I didn't get the knockout like I wanted to do. Like how I'm gonna do 619 when I get a chance. But uh, Showtime was definitely opponent that I think that I was probably right now I was the only person that could beat him. I didn't
That
see
was,
nobody beating him. Nobody.
man, I
And
remember watching that fight. I could hear the thumps. I felt the thumps. And there was one or two where he landed on you, you landed on him. And I'm like, how are they not going down? This is like Titans going at it.
hmm
Woo!
hmm hmm It was really fun. It made me step my game up, and push me to a limit a little bit. He lucky, he got a little lucky. I missed a couple punches that I was swinging for. I was bringing God with me. You know what I mean? Like he was definitely gonna be doing the chicken dance. You know what I mean? So
Jeez,
uh,
yeah.
at least but yeah, God got him now. So I hope he's in a better place.
Oh, yeah.
facts. And again, that was a complete war. For
Mhm.
those who haven't seen the fight, what are you doing? Venom Blacc versus Showtime. Watch it twice. Comment.
Mhm.
You mentioned 619, and it's funny that you say that because we saw that fight,
Yeah.
and we saw how that went. So, is there a rematch in the talks?
Yeah, yeah. It was apparently he hit my inbox and was like, "I'm really got the feeling, I'm really getting the itch to beat your ass, right?" And I was just like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "You itching? It must be crabs or something. Probably should go jump in the shower. But yeah, yeah. And I think he wants the revenge. I think I'm the only person that ever beat him. And I know he's still just butthurt about it, and I really soak that up a lot. I just sit there, and sometimes I watch that because I had my kids with me, so there was no way I was gonna lose. So, um, I just really enjoyed that. You know what I mean? Really tough guy though. Mexicans are really tough to knock out. I don't care what nobody says. He's really one
Yeah.
he's one tough chica. You know what I'm saying? So, but regardless, I'm gonna end up baptizing him too. So, yeah.
In the West Coast? Because that's what I'm hearing they pushing for.
Yeah. In Vegas. Yeah. I get
Okay.
that from home turf and see if it made a difference. He came to me the first time. I'm coming to him. I'm willing to do that travel and extend that, and hopefully I catch him at his best. It's set for about August, as we know right now. You know what I mean? And he got plenty of time to train and get right. And it's not gonna matter, but he's gonna do his best. I know. But there's a pillow for everybody.
Yeah, I like it. Especially, I'm excited to see him flag because I felt like it was almost kind of cheesy to say it, but like an anime battle watching your guys' fight. Because I know it was during the West Coast invading the East Coast, and there's a couple times where I felt you guys were throwing and like your hands locked, but they didn't pull away, and I could just see you guys trying to push, but nobody was budging. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it just added to the intensity. So
yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I don't know. You think he might have a couple new sleeve tricks up his sleeve coming out? I mean,
Well, I would tell you this: I didn't get dumber. So at this level in my game, my intelligence is went up with that. So um, I like magic anyway. So it's nothing to have a trick up my sleeve as well, or two, or three.
hell yeah. And I'm curious because we always talk to people about, they say when they found Street Beefs, they've been there for a while and they've been watching
Mhm.
and watching. But you're a name that when people talk about, they bring you up all the time. And I mean, have you been with Street Beefs for a little over about 5, 6 years now?
Yeah. Shout out to Face, by the way, because all this is possible because of him. That's my guy. I pray for him. He's one of those people. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for the ideal and the outlet to be able to put the guns down and the guns up, I mean put the gloves up and the guns down, and vice versa. I probably wouldn't be who I am today, be beyond boxing. Me and Face has a really good relationship, and still do. So just I'm thankful just to be able to have this outlet to even be talked about. So thank y'all.
Thank you, bro. I mean, it's not too often we have fighters who give us, great fights over the years. You know what I'm saying? You've had some classic bouts, and we talked about the 619 fight. We talked about the Showtime fight. Are there any other fights that stand out?
um I will say this though. I would tell you, I've never told nobody this though. I think I'm willing to fight everybody I've already fought again, right? Except for one person. Do you have a clue who that is?
Mm,
I'll do this for you. Heathen.
okay. Y'all already had what,
The
two or
heathen
three?
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That is the only person I've ever been hit by that I didn't want to get by again in my
Come on,
life.
man.
His fists are like cinder blocks. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows that until you get hit, and then you're like, "What the fuck?" He's such a clubbing, thumping punch. I was like, I don't want to get. I don't. There's no point in fighting him at this point. So if he's out there, just let him know I, we draw one time, and I won one. I'm not fighting you again, okay? Just so he knows. So if I ever become champion and he wants the belt, I'll probably just be like, well, I'm probably my time has come. You know what I mean? You can have it. Like he's just one of those
Hmm.
people. I'm like, oh man,
I'm
you got
pretty
like
sure though. I'm pretty sure he retired though, man. I ain't seen him in a few years.
right. That's why I can say this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I said it. I was like, I'll let everybody know. Like right now, yeah, he's the one. I'm glad he retired, man. I'm glad he retired.
And former champ himself. So
Yeah.
shout out.
That's who I took the belts from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
You know
like,
what
man,
fight?
I don't know, some of those fights where you sitting there with your belt on your shoulder are pretty clean, polishing up and
Yeah. Yeah. What's funny story about those belts, man? I didn't realize my popularity and people stole them from me. They went in my gym bag and
Come on, man.
Yeah, they literally stole it from me. I was like, damn, that's really cool.
You know, we were talking about potential rematches. The one fight I would have liked to seen you rematch with was LG. I felt like I don't know, man. It seemed like it was a really hot day that day. Am I right?
Man, that day is when I had Jens Pulver. You know, shout out to Jens too. And Jen's manager came down that day, and it was a really, really blistering hot day. I could not perform like I wanted to. I put on more weight than I wanted to just to be able, because I knew he was a bigger guy. You know what I mean? And the weight took a hold on me just as well as the heat, so I couldn't get the knockout. But I wasn't done. It was just hot as hell. But I would have had to die out there. This shit can go to 12 rounds. There's no way I'm falling. You know what I mean? So yeah, that would have been a great. I don't know what happened though to him. I ain't seen him ever since. You know what I mean? Like I remember something. Face told me something happened. It was about maybe his son maybe seeing him that day, and family shit like that. Like it just wasn't a good look for him. And he was like, "It's not worth it." Damn near, he felt like he was gonna die, and I was like, "Yeah, I was gonna kill you." Yeah.
Be like that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, real shit.
You got to go to war. Be prepared.
Yeah, I'm a warrior.
Hell yeah, and I'm curious because you said how you had to have to put on fight or put on some weight for that fight, and being a high performance athlete, being a fighter who we don't play fight. I'm curious, what does your diet look like? Is it extremely as disciplined as your lifestyle, or are you a little more lax with that? No.
Went out for a second.
The phone was come in. The diet.
Ghost.
The diet is like, when it comes to fighting around this time, what I do is I I eat my water and I drink my food. Like I use fruits, a lot of fruits and stuff to get the water, as well as other things. And when it comes to eating, I'm more like drinking smoothies with a lot of properties in it. You know what I mean? Like when it's fight season, I don't eat for substance. I eat for nutrition. You know what I mean? So I can put a steak, and I know that steak got probably about 50% good for me, but 50% bad. So I'm probably gonna cut that out. You know what I mean? So when the protein is more like high, like a fish type diet, so I can move, pretty agile, in the ring. I don't like things that weigh me down when it's come time to training.
Dang.
Hey, that's important, man, because people don't realize how much your diet affects your performance
Yeah.
in the fight. Whether you can or cannot do something, your diet will also play a role in that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I hate the fact there's times where I box and I fall, even in training, and I know that damn piece of cake was good as shit. I know that barbecue chicken was slapping, and my family can cook like hell, and it's like the macaroni and cheese, and that shit show up in the ring, and I'd be like, God damn it, Thanksgiving was just sucks. I just the holidays, the Fourth of July is shit. I'm like, I'm the
Mhm.
worst. I'm the worst. I give in on certain days. So, how's the diet? Regular. Some days, you know what I mean? And other days it's extreme. I've been and lost 10 pounds in 3 days, and I'm like, I want my pounds back.
Yeah,
Give me some fucking chicken. I don't want to, so I am disciplined, yeah, I am, but I'm also human. So I bite the shit out of a cow. I don't know. Wait, cow, is that the C word he was talking? No, it wasn't cow.
uh,
How many minutes? Oh, it was,
we good.
never mind, never mind.
We good. Hey, but before we get off of weight and whatnot, 619's fighting at heavyweight nowadays. So have we discussed a catch weight or have you?
he can come in there fat as hell. He want to. That's an easier fight. I don't care about the weight. I don't care about the weight. I'm in preparation to battle anybody at any weights. Uh, I can be walking down the street and this guy could be 6'3", 300 pounds. I'm not gonna be like, wait, we're in different weight classes, my guy. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it rushing, but I'm gonna give you my wallet so you can go home. That's not how it goes. So I don't care about his weight class, and I understand. I'm almost 6 feet, and I'm 195, about 200, and it's more so skill and muscle. So I don't care about a size advantage. My sparring partners is like 270 pounds. So because the impact of my punches, you know what I mean? You got to be a certain way. Like if we go rounds, I could hurt you in the end because you're fatigued because you're so big. And but if you're my height around my weight, then these punches and the impact is just by anatomy and science and physics. I'm gonna hurt you anyway. So he can come in big as hell, small as hell. He's still
Hmm.
getting baptized.
I didn't know why I thought you walked around or you fought at 180. You used to fight at 180, right?
Yeah, I walk around about 195, 200.
Damn, solid muscle.
No, I got some
And I was
fat, I
gonna,
think, somewhere over here.
yeah, look for it. I'm like, hold on, let me let me find
You know what I
something.
mean? Like I got the jacket on so you can't see how fat my neck got.
Yeah.
Dang. Now it's crazy because I was actually going to talk about a little bit of how you recover because I know we were talking about your diet being a big part, and I juice personally because it helps my joints, and I don't ache as much or not ache. I don't hear them crack as much. But I'm curious, what do you do? You do ice baths or something like that? Because I know there's levels to this, and on the level that you're at, you have a whole different system than someone like me and other street beef fighters.
I haven't got that deep into the ice bath, and I already know it's a very, very, very coming very, very soon. You know what I'm saying? Because of the recovery I'm gonna need, because of the intensity I'm gonna put into it. So that's more so like once a month though for me if I was to do that. So I just think the strongest part that I can have in playing and my success and being a fighter is the mental strength. I think that carries everything more so when it's fight season. I read a lot of books, and I keep my mind strong and sharp, so I stay focused on the task at all times because it's really easy to lose focus and at a high level of fighting, losing focus 1 second, the punch can come in half a second. So I don't even, around that time, that's where my focus is in my mental, and my body will carry.
I like that. Did uh did you grow up fighting in your youth? Because you seem to have
Shit.
uh come across a lot of fight knowledge. You seem to have a lot of fight experience.
Mhm.
Um, what was Venom Black prior to Street Beefs?
Before Venom Black, I was Project Pat. That's what they called me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was that guy. That when somebody was getting bullied, they would come get me. Because I remember being a kid and watching Roy Jones. He's from the same city I'm from, and I used to go to the gym where he would play basketball at all the time, and he would hold classes in the back. When he was done, like they would shut down the recreation center, and it was called the Fricker Center, and there because he was there. He was friends with the coach that was there, and they would just shut down and play basketball. And when he's done, he would come back there and show us how to fight, punch, jab, and that's really how I started. I was always a fighter because my idol, my icon, is Bruce Lee. So I do know a little martial arts. I took karate. I took kickboxing as well. So fighting where I'm from was a regular. Guns came at my age now, where I'm at now. So I have a assortment of weaponry, bow and arrow, swords, whatever it is. Like yeah, like look, I
Yeah, bro, I
serious.
gotta step my game up.
Yeah, like I keep a lot of weapons
Beauty.
around, just because. So I fight so well. I figure people want to shoot me or kill me. So might as well be prepared. Like you want a sword fight? Like, whoa, I don't give a shit. I got nunchucks over here too. I don't give a, you know what I mean? Like I never know. He could be Chinese. I don't take nothing from nobody. He'd kick my ass. I've seen enough Chinese movies to know I'm not playing with your ass. I'm knocking you the fuck out. I don't care what your size is.
That
So
old school ass whooping right there.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I grew up fighting. I grew up fighting like a motherfucker because if not, they would take something from you.
Mm.
Dude, that's
Gotta say,
crazy. What?
I'm a Jeet Kune Do practitioner. So when you mentioned Bruce Lee, I damn near hit the what? Ah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of judo in there. It's a little bit of
Yep.
keto in there. That's what
Yep.
I studied as well, Jeet Kune Do. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So how did you find Street Beefs? What was that initial setup like?
Um, it happened this way. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's really crazy because it was this guy. What was his name though? He was the first fight I've ever fought, and he was knocking people out. This big, strong white guy. Forgot his name though. It's really crazy. That's the
Uh,
only thing I don't remember. But I saw him fight. The very first time I wanted to be there in Street Beef, it was Mighty Mouse when I saw Mighty Mouse though. And I was like, oh shit, he don't look hard to beat at all. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? I think if that's the man right there, I think I want to go there and fuck him up. I'm like, that's the best because he looks like he's a bully or some shit. I was thinking like that, like I'm gonna fuck him up. And I was like, okay, how do I get there? And I would go on to YouTube and I'd be like, I want to fight, sign me up. I want to fight. I want to fight. And then somebody finally was like, here you go. And I was like, where to be? And they was like, over here. And I went to actual face your house. You know what I mean? And I was like, and it was like White Russian. That was his name. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, right. And I was like, all the people to fight. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fight. And they was like him. I was like, that's the biggest person here. And I was like, I just seen him knock somebody out in like the first round. I was like, y'all want me to fight him? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it. And, this is the person knocking people out. This is the person I want to fight anyway. First fight, nervous. I was like, damn, I just seen him knock somebody out. I don't, it's in my head. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, shit,
Hmm.
what did I ask for? You know? And then when I got in there and started fighting and I got in my element, I was like, you know what? This motherfucker ain't got no skill. And then I came alive. So, and it's been up ever since.
Facts.
That's just history. Damn, I gotta have to go back and rewatch that one because I was trying to figure it out the other day when I was watching some of your fights and I watched your 2-0, your second fight, and I remember it was a quick. You landed a clean one on the sucker, and I was just like, I gotta find the first one. So
Yeah.
thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I think the first one, I don't know. It might be at 1,000,000, 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of curious because we're talking about before Street Beefs, during Street Beefs, and everything else. But I mean, I'm kind of curious about your career outside of Street Beefs as well. So I know you're handing out ass whoopings all over the place. So
Well, I will tell you this, and this is the truth. I haven't been so so last year my mother passed away on Valentine's Day, right? So leading up to that, she had a stroke in like 23, and so I flew her up from Florida and put her in a house, and had the nurses, and paid for that situation. So during that time I had no mental strength to fight. um if I fought, it would probably be to kill. You know what I'm saying? So I knew I wasn't. I know anger clouds the mind, and boxing, I don't have time to be angry fighting. You know what I mean? That's how you lose a fight. To be honest with you, fighting under temperament. So
Scrap y'all.
yeah, so I decided to, take a break from that, and she passed away like 8 months later or something like that. And I finally got over the hump of her passing, passing away in February, which is Valentine's Day, is the first, all these holidays I had to go through without her and that shit, and tomorrow's her birthday. So um after tomorrow, I think everybody should prepare to die. They should have left me alone in street beef because there's a couple of heads I find that should probably roll, and I don't want them to get too cocky because I've been dormant. You know what I mean? So now I'm really like, you probably uh woke up the one person you
Yeah.
shouldn't have. Yeah.
Hey, well, I want to offer my condolences, bro, and much like Ryan said, happy heavenly birthday to your mom, man.
That means a lot, you know what I mean? So that's where my mental been, but um, all that clutter is clearing out now. And I'm smiling more now, and you know, it's all right. I'm just blessed that I got to bury my mother instead of her burying me. So, and she was always proud of me as a fighter and my accomplishments, and my whole city is as well. I mingle with the stars all the time. My homie, shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Be over here, Terrence Crawford, them guys show me love all the time. So, um, I'm accepted and I'm appreciated, and they know my capabilities and what I can do and how I do it. And I'm now, yeah, I made my mom proud in her life. I'm gonna make her proud in her death.
Facts.
Absolutely. Already done. Um, I was curious too, because sometimes we have these checklists with these different yards, right?
Yeah,
And you're coming up to fight 619 in the West Coast.
right.
But, coming out and you say there's some other fighters who you coming out of hibernation, could you possibly see yourself coming up to scrapyard as well? And that way, playing out all the unlockable street beefs cages?
I will tell you this. I don't think anybody under the umbrella of street briefs um can beat me. Um, and that is no disrespect to no one, but unfortunately, I don't feel like no one can beat me. You know, so my confidence in myself and my belief in myself is what carries me when I'm down. The possibility of what I've done and what I can do and what I will do. So scrapyard can get scrapped, and I like to go surfing on the West Coast too. I've been in Hawaii. I used to live there for a year. I know how to surf a little bit, so I can ride the wave over there. And wherever there's a street beef and if they accept me, if I'm accepted as a champion in street beef, then I will fight whoever the people decide I should fight.
Hey,
Yeah.
it sounds like Steve might have a guy or two we know. So yeah, if you ever find your way up here, I feel like the weather plays the elements. It's all fun. We have some of the heat, some of the wetness, some of the
Man,
coolness. I remember
I
when I went to Virginia,
fucking
I had what?
love the scrapyard shit.
Hell
Man, they
yeah!
just did a fucking, what was that? There was a dude knocked the dude out, and I just seen him and looked like he was about to rip his head. Like it. Did you see it? It was on IG. It's a clip where, I mean, he knocked the dude out. Dude was falling. He caught him again, and then they went to like the AI animation, and he grabbed him and started singing, and he was like, "Oh, by my," and the dude had it was blood and shit on. I was like, I fucking love what they're doing over there. It's really entertaining. Um, the dude over there that wear the dress though, what's his name?
Crazy legs.
Crazy legs. I feel like slapping him sometimes just for doing that
Whoa.
shit. But
Oh,
other
that worked.
other than that, the scrapyard is all right with me. They better pick a good one. They better pick a good one.
I mean, honestly, I seen Fire Chicken mention the F&F guys. I haven't seen anyone of the weight. I think the best fighter they have for you would literally be Viking Warrior.
Oh
And yeah,
yeah, I told him I'll fuck him up too. He already knows how I
yeah, I
feel
remember
about
that
him.
back in the gap.
Yeah. He knows his. I'm like, that's not. That's not. Yeah, you're a warrior, but I'm a true warrior. A warrior in all aspects. You're just a Viking warrior. Motherfucker.
Did you see
Good point,
did
Jay.
you see his fight with 619?
Yeah, I did, and that went the distance. And he didn't even do as good as I did. So, you know.
Oh, so Viking can't fight no more. Is that what you're saying, Fire Chicken? Or at least box?
I
Yeah,
don't think I don't think he ever could to me. You know what I mean? He's a little bit washed up and like a bum type shit to me as a fighter. No, he's really cool though. I like him. Shout out to Viking Warrior. But um,
he just signed the
I
papers.
I beat your ass too.
Yeah, it sounded like he went pro.
Mhm. Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because I could fight at pro as well. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it wouldn't matter. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? At this level, I'm only doing this now because, anytime I flip the switch, is I can go. So I would fight the best person that you could produce just to show because I'm on a level in my head. Whatever their judgment is, it's fine. But in my head, I will fight the best person anybody can produce.
Hey, that comes with once in a generation. You gotta have that to be able to go to the next level. Shit. I was just saying, we
And
got a fighter
on
over
any
here.
level.
Oh yeah, I was saying, shout out to young Daedric up here in Tacoma, Washington. We got him. He's like 135, but man, fucker hits like a truck. He dropped me once, and we're sparring and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's got like similar mentality, and he went international, went to a couple different countries, and these people were all bent against him, and he shut all of them down. Everything's a finish, and I'm just like, boo. He's
Congratulations.
18 now, I think, 18 or 19. No, 21. Just turned 21.
Well, shout out to him. Keep going, young man.
Hell yeah! Now, I was actually kind of curious. We're talking about different fighting styles, and you are an insane fighter. But I'm curious about your thoughts on the BKFC, and if something like that ever came your way, would you consider it?
I did reach out to him one time or so like that, and I really never like I don't think I'm at the level unless they pay me like a big check, for my first one. I probably it would have to be at least 50K, you know what I mean, to do that. Because in that mind I'm really gonna hurt people. I'm going for, like once you take the gloves off, I'm trying to kill you. It's no longer I don't feel like you should walk out of here once I've been hit by your punch. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no,
Straight
you're
up.
going to sleep, and uh, it's a different ball game. I'm willing to fight. I know Reggie Barnett, the BKF, C champion, the lightweight champion, where he was. I don't even know if he's still the champion right now. I haven't seen him fight in a minute.
I don't know. I
But
don't think he's current, but
you know what I mean?
man,
Like so I had the ties to do that, but I just really wasn't positive. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's a lot of damage. I look at Reggie sometimes like, boy, you scarred the fuck up. I barely even had a, a bloody nose yet. I don't even remember ever my nose being busted. I looked at him, I was like, boy, I'm I
Yeah.
like the gloves.
You guaranteed some damage, even if you're the
Yeah.
winner.
And my knuckles are really sharp, so I already know. I'm like, I know if I'm even if I miss and nip you, I can cut you.
Mm.
So I know it's out there, and I'm like, sheesh, that's blood and guts
yeah, there's
there.
brutal.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. I uh I wanted to ask, man, you mentioned Project Pat and
yeah.
your in your former life.
Yeah.
How did we come to Venom Blacc? What was that transition, and how did we come with that name?
What happened was somebody said something, right, and I was like, what would the name be? They asked me, and I was like, you know what a name I like, like to play the bad guy, right? Like they're already going. I know they're gonna look at me like I'm the bad guy because of my confidence. And early on you see the backlash, that's kind of like what it was. You know what I mean? I used to be kind of like defensive a little bit, and I was like, damn. I used to wear a cup, like the groin protector, and then they
Right.
were like, "Oh, he's wearing a diaper. Why is he wearing that?" And I'm like, "Boy, you guys must have small dicks because I got something to protect over here." You know what I mean? So I didn't really say that at times, but I was just like, I just couldn't understand it. I'm like, this is what they wear, right? You
It
know
was
what I'm
something to
saying?
hate on you for.
Right, right, right. And then it became, you know, and I was like, what is it? Is it my name? And the real reason I got the name is I was like, just can't remember exactly how I came up with it, but I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna name myself Black Venom, right? And then my girl at the time, she was like, "Oh yeah, I like the name Venom Blacc," and I was like, "It's not what I said, but I like that better." I was like, "I'm so glad you're dyslexic." You know what I'm saying? And it stuck with it. I just went with it. I was just like, shit, that sounds better. I was like, maybe I'm the dyslexic one. Maybe I said it backwards. You know what I'm saying? As far as it goes. So that's how they got the name. So but really it was based upon, like, for real, the idea of venom was because it's the snake like properties. I don't like snakes, right? And so I bought one. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I started
What
studying
the?
it. Yeah, yeah. I don't have a fear factor. Anything that I fear, I get close to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's only wonder what makes people fear because them not knowing. The unknown is what the fear factor is. So um I bought one and I started studying it. Looking at it, I would put a rat in there. It was a ball python, and I would watch how fast it strikes. And I started looking at cobras and king snakes and what snakes beat what and copperheads and banana tree snakes and mambas. And I started looking at them and I was just like, wow, the strike factor that they have, before you know it, you're hit. And that's when I began to indulge in Venom. And then the movie came out and all that. And I was just like, well, I guess I do have a split personality, I would say, because I can tell when I'm fighting, I don't know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not me on the outside. I'm literally engaged and it just feels like life or death every time.
Absolutely. Hey, that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine. Oh, I don't like snakes. Let me go buy one. Let me get a tank. No, but
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly what
it's
I
cool that you
did.
study it because I mean, how many martial arts were based off them
Yeah,
studying
the
an
Cobra.
animal and the movement of it and
Yeah.
wow.
Roy Jones, him and his
Yeah.
chickens.
That's chicken. Yeah, he had a chicken farm, and
What?
he studied
Yeah.
them. And he started to pick up the properties that would make a cock so powerful. It's one of the most vicious animals in the animal kingdom. When they start fighting, their claws.
Yeah.
No. Must be a phone call. Man, but I'm having a good time. What about you, Song K? Yeah.
Of course, man. Of course. He's coming back.
I got
I
some
was
more
gonna
poncho
actually
right here.
mention, much like the snakes, whenever he's throwing his jab, it's funny that we're on the subject of the snakes because the way he throws his jab is very much like how a snake would strike. You know what I mean? And I want to get his take on that when he gets back
Oh, cheers.
in just a moment.
Are you? Oh, ooh.
In just one
I
more
can show.
moment.
I'll show y'all here. You can't tell anybody that you saw it here. Hand drawn. Oh, by yours truly.
You got to put it
Look at that.
closer and tell the people what that is, buddy.
So you got this nice 6'3" Impala coming off with the Aztec Temple right there on the bottom. Bricks right there, and then OTH, Overtime Hustling Magazine. But here's why I did it the way I did it. You got fire because their shit is straight fire, flaming every time it comes in. They got the water because they got that drip on that website. You know you got to have that freshest drip. And then you got this right here because you ain't want the smoke when it comes to OTH. Shit. You're going to have to keep your eyes peeled. Don't tell anyone you saw this. I'm not supposed to show.
That's fire. That's fire.
That's why we here. That's why you guys tune in. You get to see stuff. You get to hear stuff you don't know. Hear about dream matchups, other sort of fun shit. Hell yeah. Fire. I'm like, oh man. Okay. Well, if he'll
Jay,
come back in a minute.
Jay, can you message Venom to hop off and then jump back on? Because that's probably what it
Yeah.
is. He just needs to hop off and hop back on.
Now, I didn't forget about this other sweepstakes we got to do. I'm not doing it today because I got to mail this stuff out from last time. It's been a busy couple weeks, so it's been adding up. But I'm mailing everything out by the end of this week. I already hit everybody up. They know they're getting it. And I'm going to be in the making of a few new merch items because come the 20th, springtime, there's a whole new drop of stuff. Not just things that are you've seen pictures of, but stuff you haven't seen. Like there's going to be a Zwell button up that's going to be all black
Come on, bro.
with green embroidery of the Zwell pin strap going down, all green stitching with green buttons.
Nice, nice. And he's back. Can you hear us?
Yeah, my bad. You know this phone going off the hook. You know what I'm
It's all
saying?
good, brother. It's all
Do
good.
not disturb, but 2 calls they get through. I said you're still disturbing me. I can't figure it out.
Hey, well, we ain't gonna keep you too much longer, man. But since we were on the subject of the snakes and the strikes, right? I was saying to Buddy while you were gone, uh, it's funny because when I see you throw your jab in a lot of your fights, that's what I see. I see like a snake strike. You know, you
Yeah,
seem to be very relaxed, and then you see the pop, you see the strike. You know,
that's what it
and I
is.
wanted to get your take on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's a you know, the animal kingdom, almost every fighting style was adopted from a property of an animal. You know, what I mean, that's how it started. You know, man didn't know combat. You understand what I'm saying? They weren't fighting, like, imagine what the first fight was like. Like, what the fuck? You know? So they, you know, trying to see hunting and how a tiger or pounce or a lion tactics, and then man, that's when he start coming up with tactics to catch food and to attack just in general. Is, you know, it's attacking. Even if you're hunting, you're attacking something, you know. So absorbing that property and seeing life in itself and knowing that I'm alive and I'm living, there's nothing at this point in my life, there's not much I can't learn from. And people are scared of snakes. So I was like, you know what? What the fuck? I'm a tough motherfucker, but that fucking snake had me shook for a second. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, you small as hell. I'm like uh 200 pounds more than you. Why the hell am I so much scarier? So now at that point, it took away the factor of what it's like to be scared about a fear of it. Even though you're bigger, I don't think that snake, all it knows is to attack and to fight and to defend and survive. So I use that. You know, I defend well, and I make sure that by the end of the fight, I'm the one victorious, and or at least the survivor at the very minimum.
I mean, I'm kind of curious because I have to ask. What's the reason why I ask is because I'm curious if you were to give some advice to someone younger or someone who wants to get into fighting that doesn't
Well, I
necessarily
thought
know how
your
to
ass
go
was
about it.
froze until you blink.
You say what? Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
because
what about you though, Smoke? You know what I mean?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I
I'm
think
just
Buddy asked you a question right before you asked me.
No, I can't. He's on my phone. He out of there.
Oh, you
oh,
you're gone, buddy. I can see you though, buddy.
you can't
Nah,
hear me? Hold
now
on.
you blink. You just blanked out, but I could. He just blanked in, blanked out. Like I don't know. Yeah, now he there. I can't hear him
All
though.
right.
Oh, I can hear him now.
Good. All right. Yeah. No, I was curious because You know, you talked about how you study Bruce Lee and Samke, he loves Jeet Kune Do, and I'm really into philosophy. So I'm curious about any sort of advice that would come from you because I feel you would have a very unique perspective on what to say to somebody who is curious about wanting to step into the fight world itself.
So your question is basically what kind of advice I can give somebody that's willing to do what we do, like
Absolutely.
on whatever level, it rather be martial arts or but just in combat sports in general, in combat, right?
Yeah, in combat sports.
All right. I think the number one thing I would say, because a lot of this stuff you can't train, you know what I'm saying? But it's really just know what you're getting yourself into because any fight can be your last. In any altercation, in on any level, in any combat, you know what I'm saying? You got to know that first. Are you willing? You know, are you? Is death a concern? You know what I mean? Dying in the ring, is that a concern to you? And then after that, I would tell them this is 90% mental and 10% physical. If they get those two things, then you could push yourself to wherever you want to go. You know what I mean? Then it's already what's been instilled in you. Do you need a coach 24/7? Then it's just all based upon who the individual is. Because if your father was there for you, you're going to do great. You see a lot of fighters now, their fathers are their what voice have they heard more than their father? They can hear
Good
their
point.
father through a middle of a crowd. You know what I mean? A yell of a hysterical people, you can hear your father. You know what I mean? That's how in keen you are to your mother and your father's, the connection. So your father will give you something more. And I would tell you, just make sure the person you train is the person you trust with your life. Because every time your life is going to be on the line.
Well
Gotta
said.
ask.
Well said. Uh, I was curious. You mentioned the 619 rematch possibly being in scheduled for August. Do you
Oh,
plan on having any fights prior to that fight?
I forgot. You know what? I made something. I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
Oh my. Well, we got
What did it say? Six,
6-1
6-1.
shit.
Yeah, 6-1 shit.
6-1 shit.
Oh, you could say ass if you get the correlation. I didn't want to draw two ass cheeks because it looked like some. It looked like some boobs when I did it without the. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know.
I
But
thought it
yeah,
was
go
like a
ahead.
little Hershey morsel at first, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. This it's kid friendly.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are
yeah,
these
yeah.
are going on sale. I'm selling bandanas, 6-1 shits. This year is going to be a great year. All right, but go ahead.
That's
I'm
funny.
sorry, Sanke.
No, no, no. I'm gonna go ahead and switch the question because that's perfect. That's a perfect segue.
It's the good
Uh,
side,
I
the
don't know
shit
if you
side.
saw his last fight with Doughboy, where he won the heavyweight belt from Doughboy. Um,
I think I did. Yeah, the first. Yeah, yeah, I did. That was like last year or the
no, 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 no. This was
year
last
before.
month. This was dropped
No,
last month.
I didn't.
Okay, okay. The reason I ask is because what we saw in that fight, what I saw in that fight was someone get broken down psychologically prior to the fight or within the fight itself. The opponent gave up basically without being truly damaged. We saw 619 play mind mental tactics. He put this man on a shirt. He had a few words to go with the shirt. Would message this man every morning, talking nonsense, whatnot. Uh, the psychological game is a real thing, as we know. My question as a fan, were you playing the psychological game on him in y'all fight by showing up, dipping out, and then showing up much later when y'all fought that day?
Um, um, I cannot psychologically answer that because just know that I didn't. It wasn't intentional, but I knew what it
Okay.
was doing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, um, you know what I mean? Like, uh, I wouldn't. I like 619. You know what I mean? Uh, he's a really good. He's a really good person. He get in your head if you let him, but it's the fact that I'm mentally strong already. It's 90% mental. If it was the opposite way, then yeah, you can get to me. That's the first thing, and the other thing is I'm not fucking Doughboy. That's
Venom
it. That's
Blacc.
the end of it. Yeah, I fucked him up. I fucked 619 up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. 619 beat Doughboy. I beat 619. I'll beat him again. I was hopefully that this would give him something. Maybe this would give him some fucking hope, you know? Because I'm pretty fucking sure he knows he's gonna lose. But he just wants to try. He's a tryhard. He's a fucking sweat. I know he's on the joystick. His fucking hands greasy. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. You know. So, I'm gonna let him stay shit. I mean, I'm gonna let him stay sitting. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Man, but see now this is the fun time, but also the bad time of part of the show where I gotta start being the bad guy and say, I know that we're getting close to the end of the show and we're all in different time zones and whatnot too. So I know, okay, this is your guest. Do you have any final questions or I don't know how yeah.
Yeah. Just one final question. Will we see will we see Venom Blacc in fights prior to the 619 rematch?
Um, I tell you, it just depends on the conversation, and how it go. I'm taking it slow. Like I'm really taking it slow. I'm not in a rush to get punched in the face. You know what I mean? So I already got brain damage, I guess. Shit, I don't know. But I'm not in a rush to receive no more right now. So if it's August, I'll probably wait till August. You know what I mean? I'm only fighting the best. I'm not in the, I'm not a, I probably should monetize my life a little bit more. You know what I mean? But honestly, it was a lot going on that fighting was the last thing. When you watch your mom fight for her life, to your last breath, you know what I mean? You think a little bit different than when you think of fighting, you know what I mean? So at this point, um, but who knows? I might get ready beforehand. And then after that, I don't know. I might beat him and then beat up Viking Warrior and then beat up the next person and just be like, you know what? I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying? However it may go, but uh hopefully it goes well. I do have a child on the way as well. So I'm
Congrats.
doing
Yes.
yeah, man. Man, this shit still works. So so
Yeah, he had
uh
hit in the head. That's why.
yeah, you know what I mean? I'm glad, right. I'm glad I was wearing that groin protector when they was talking to me about the diaper. I'm
Uh,
glad I was wearing the diaper at the time, I swear. You know. So but I think God got a plan for me. I'm also doing like movies and stuff, like they're doing features and videos and music, and I have a lot going on. You know what I mean? I'm also run a roofing company as I'm in my office right now. You can see, you know. So
You gotta talk your shit.
yeah, man, I got a lot. I got a lot going on. So it's like, I really took the time out because I know you guys are great. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really thankful more than y'all know. You know what I mean? It's bringing me back alive, and I feel like I need you guys to keep me there. And without y'all, I had a huge loss. You know what I'm saying? In my book, I took a huge L the first time I've ever took a loss. You know what I mean? And I think uh, I feel good because you guys are there for me. You know what I mean? You pick me up more than y'all, than they know. So thank
Hey,
you.
we
Hey,
appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Buddy, did you have any final questions?
man, I was real curious because I have to know when I'm about to get in the zone next time. Do you have a song for me that I should put on? You know, something that gets you hype, ready to go when you start training.
Um, a song. I will tell you before you play a song, listen to the music that you make. Like when you close your eyes and you begin to visualize, listen to yourself first. And this might sound really, 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 really off. But I've been listening to like classical music. I've been listening to powerful music. One of my favorite artists right now and to listen to is that makes me want to fight is Tim's. That's a female, you know what I'm saying? And she has such a beautiful voice and her message is so clear. I don't want to be hyped up. I want to be focused. Sometimes when I get too hype, I lose focus. There's a lot of songs I can tell you to listen to turn up, but when it comes time for comeback, it's not the time to really turn up. It is the time to lock in. What song makes you think is the best example I can give you? What song makes you be a one of my favorite songs also to listen to, and this is ideal. I don't know what class you put this in, is Lucas Graham. He's one of my favorite artists, 7 years. Um,
That's a
that
fire
makes
song.
me, yeah, it makes me think about where I've been and how far I've come. That turns me up. That turns me up in the inside. Like, I know who I am. I know why I'm here, and I'm thankful I'm here. And the ideal of that makes me never want to lose the moment, not be so excited that I have a moment. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
m- what I suggest is that you listen to something that gives you a purpose, not just energy, because the energy is going to be there whether or not. By the time it's fight day, it's too late. The last thing you want to do is be too amped before you go into a fight. You're burning your energy before you get there. You
Yeah,
don't realize it, but you need to be loose. You need to be relaxed. You need to be focused. So yeah, if I had to pick a song, to be honest with you, it'd be Lucas Graham, 7 years. And think about how far you come, and think about the people that you've lost, and think about you're still here, and that the opportunity that you get to fight and to be great at whatever you choose to do.
100%. Damn, I'm glad I asked. See, I'm glad that I. Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna be a fire ass show the entire time. As soon as Tom K said we had you straight.
Ah, my guy.
Hey, well, we appreciate you, Venom. If you want to give out any shout outs, any plugins, the music, the business, let us know.
Um, I would say that shout out yourself, and that's for everybody, because if you even heard this interview, just be thankful you're alive and do whatever you choose to do in your life because you deserve it.
Love that.
Thank you.
Damn. Well,
Hey, we appreciate you, man. You have you a great night, man.
You as
thank you
well.
so much, Venom Blacc.
Fuck you, 619.
Perfect.
That's
Perfect.
the way to exit.
Hey, but the
But
show ain't
yeah,
over.
not yet. We've been keeping you suspended, but you gotta wait for 1 sec. Maybe. Or no. All right, well, we got some
Zuel, lifestyle wear for the fighter in you.
A movement to show that by utilizing hard work, grit, and determination, you could achieve any dream as long as you were willing to put in the hard work. Buddy V creates his own unique artwork and designs all of his clothing, jewelry, and accessories, taking the time to create every item so you can feel the pride in every piece. As a living embodiment of Zuel's principles, Buddy V fights MMA while staying active in the community, promoting positivity. Whether you are a stay-at-home parent, entrepreneur, or anything else, there is a place for you at Zuel.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
You know, we always start off with the scrap yard. All right, now the first one we got is Dave. This fighter was fun to watch. He is tall, he's lengthy, and let me just say he's got that dog in him. Because there's sometimes when you saw him dig deep in his matches, when he got hit and he threw a hit and then he got landed on one exchange for blows, and you see he's rocking. He's not trying to give up any space. He's trying to stay in there. You see him dig deep. I was just blown away. So now he has 2 fights in the yard. He's got 2 wins in the yard. And you know what? He had to get his kudos. So, Dave, I want to see you back. I'm glad to watch your fights. Let me get some more. Bam. And speaking of, let me get some more fights from the Streetbeefs West Coast, Stickman. Now, this is a name that you've probably heard before. He's had some fights. When I went to watch his most recent fight, he was 2-2. But I remember I saw him come out with that full tank team T-shirt, and he was putting in work. Holy crap. That was one of the most obvious signs of an improvement if I've ever seen. His jab was straight. He went in and out. He was weaving. Just the entire fighter together looked like he elevated. He had extra stats, and he put him in every single category. Stickman, that is what I'm talking about. I cannot wait to see some more fights come from you. Holy crap. Full-fledged tank team. You guys are killing it out there, by the way. And from the OG yard, we have SS Gunna. Now, this one was a crazy one because I watched the fight and his opponent completely disrespected him. Straight up said he's going to win, this and that. SS Gunna goes in there and he goes all in. You see his heart. He's trying to put everything. And even he gets caught once or twice. That doesn't even stop him. He just keeps working and keeps working. He doesn't slow down. And so much so, it starts smothering his opponent. And his opponent doesn't know what to do. Until the very end when all of a sudden he comes out. And there's points when you're like, oh man, is he going to pull it through? I think he might lose. He might. Nope. He came out and got the win. He shows what happens when you do not give up and you truly believe in yourself. And you heard it here on the show. You can't believe in anyone else but yourself. So that mental fortitude helped SS Gunna win that fight. I need to see you back because that's the only one I saw. Those are my 3 fighters to watch.
Yeah. Great picks as always, man. Great assessment.
Hey,
I would even say fire. Some Can the Fire 5. We're going to start it off at the OG yard. You see it? Still Hands versus Day. You could tell by the time. This one didn't last too long. We had some really slick footwork. Man, so many slips. I swear we were in Slip City in this fight. The fundamentals were on full display. We had some solid defenses being shown. And we had a beautiful finish in the end. Streetbeefs OG yard, Still Hands versus Day. Firefight. Taking you guys to Streetbeef Scrapyard. You see it. If you're trying to look this fight up, you see the title on the screen. This is between QP and Little Drummer Boy. Boxing match right here. We had a lot of heart on display. A lot of respect shown between these two. And man, quite a few flurries thrown throughout this fight. Check this fight out right here. Firefight, Streetbeef Scrapyard, QP versus Little Drummer Boy. Yeah, taking you to the West Coast, Streetbeefs West Coast. You trying to look this fight up? The title is right there on the screen. This is Sketchy versus Mitchie in a MMA match. Yeah, that's a hell of a thumbnail right there. Look at that. This was a competitive back and forth, competitive fight right here. Chopping leg kicks, both men utilizing grappling, power shots, great wrestling shown throughout this fight. And very close, very close. Comment who you felt won. This was another fire fight from the West Coast. Mitchie versus Sketchy, firefight. Going back to the OG yard, you see it. This is Toe Tap Tim versus Menace. This is another MMA match right here. This was a fire fight as well. We had a relentless assault from start to finish, constant pressure, punishing knees all throughout the fight. Great use of jiu-jitsu, and it made for an all-out war. Street Beefs OGR, Toe Tap Tim versus Menace, firefight. And we're going to end things off at the scrapyard. You see it. Son Kevin versus Freakzilla in a kickboxing match. This was very nice to watch right here. This was a close bout. Comment who you felt won. Very close fight. This was a very nice pace to start with. As we say every show, cardio is key. Cardio is key. Cardio is key. And these men had the cardio. Yeah, they definitely had the cardio. Surprisingly, we had a lot of boxing in this kickboxing match. Solid combinations and exchanges all throughout. Both of these guys were focused, patient, and we saw a great use of distance management. Fire fight. Street Beef Scrapyard, Son Kevin versus Freakzilla, Somcan the Fire 5.
Straight fire. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yep.
Man, I gotta go back and rewatch that last one. I don't think I've seen that one.
Really? Yeah, man, it was a good one. I'm surprised I missed it too. But that's the beauty of the show, man. You get to do your homework.
Right? Shoot, yeah, a little scrapyard, and then the second to last one with the West Coast. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm watching right after this.
Yep.
Even though I'm having fun, man. What do you say? Is it about that time?
It's about that time, man. We got to end it at some point. First and foremost, shout out to Venom Blacc. We appreciate you and your time, sir. For everyone who's out there watching, go check out Venom's fights. He's got classic fights. This is a OGR legend, a Street Beefs legend in general. And go check him out. Support. Thank you to Buddy V, greatest co-host. Thank you to Jay, greatest producer. We kill it every week. Shout out to Street Beefs OGR, Scrapyard, West Coast, Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Everyone in the live chat, everyone on replay, we appreciate y'all. And shout out to Overtime Hustling Magazine. Shout out to Heart in the Fight. Shout out to zwellworld.com. You know it. That's where you can get all your Zwell World merch. That's where you can get all your MMA Underground merch. That's where you can get your Cardio is Key shirts. zwellworld.com. Check us out. Show some love, show some support. That's what we about. And man, if you're trying to check for me, same time, same place every week. I appreciate you all, and that's it.
Hell yeah. Well, shout out Zuel. Having too much fun. And then Instagram, Zuel_Buddy V. I've been doing all sorts of posts, stories. I can't even say I'm going to be consistent because I've been so consistent, especially the past month. Go to the Facebook. That will be more consistent. That's been at least 3 times a week, 4 times a week, but it'll be just about every day now. We're having fun. We got a lot of cool releases. Like I said earlier on the show, we got button-ups coming out. Then you don't even know what I got planned for the whole year. I have everything lined up, everything ready to go. And I guess now you guys just like me got to play the waiting game. So we'll see per season or whatever. So the 20th coming up.
Yeah,
man, I'm having two. So it's like you said, shout out Overtime Hustling Magazine.
Yep.
Samke, I couldn't do this without you. We kill it every week. Thank you so much. Jay, we always kill it because we're running smooth behind the scenes thanks to you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for watching. We wouldn't even be able to have a show if it wasn't for all of you tuning in. And I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be on a Wednesday. Wow. Well, As some can say, we gotta bring it to an end. So we always end it with Jay's famous words: with one world, one love, deuces.